Beautiful beings of the universe, welcome to now. My message in this video is, which of course is widely known by everyone, that this is a world of Kali Yuga, in which the times are twisted. A fool is given more value than what they deserve. A fool is made a hero, while the true warrior suffers. Someone who's really beautiful, they are tagged as ugly, and somebody who's truly ugly, and the makeup industry, they make them load themselves with tons of makeup. And this all is part of the advertisement campaign so that they could make more money by buying their products. Anyway, my agenda is not about talking of the marketing strategy, though definitely that is a lot of dark work done in there as well. My intention is to say that if you're doing if you're doing the work of light, as in you are following the work of your spirit, and you do not give in, you are a man or a woman of self-respect, then of course there would be the opponent side, the devil, the enemy, and they would try and come to test you. And it's always the case. Like I also watched a similar video that I could resonate with Muji, and he said that while you're on this path of awakening and you are waking up from the deep sleep state, what rest of the world is already deep asleep, and as you are going through this phase, then there would be people who would come and say, "Hey, are you okay? Are you all right?" And this is just to they want to show you that you are ignorant, though it's the other way around. And this is the trick of the dark side. The devil always uses that. So they would be at restlessness, and they would in turn come and ask somebody who's more of a lightened spirit, and they would come in and say, "Are you doing okay?" Though that is not their true intent. They are just trying to show you about, no, you're not at ease, though you are completely at peace. So that is a very narcissistic trait that a lot of people with low vibration, low energy state who are living in ignorance, they tend to live like that. But what you as a light worker, what you as somebody who believes in the love of God, be it any God, it does not matter. It's just about your love for the higher power. And how do you know? Do you have faith in higher power? Is only by looking at the bullshit you see in the society and not agreeing to it. The fact that you are a spiritual warrior, you stand alone, whereas all these bunches of fools, they come together in a group and they just try to talk out loud in front of you, thinking that they're going to break you down, and that would definitely not happen. That never happens, because as a spiritual warrior, you know the importance of silence. And it's not that you are trying hard to control your senses in that moment of test. You, as a spiritual warrior, you are so much at the center. You know that those fools, even if the entire world comes together, a spiritual warrior would stand alone. It's like the light of a candle. No matter the amount of darkness that surrounds the candle, the moment the candle is lit, it lights up the entire space. And that's the reason the devil is so scared of the true person of light. It's not about how much money you have and how much power and status you have. Like I said, in this time and age, if you're following by the crooked ways, and if you take into the paths of cheats and lies, like most of the people do, just to like stick to this ideology of just do whatever it takes to get there, just to grab onto money and take whatever is in other space, just go on attacking those as well. But the whole point is that, yeah, so those are the people who you would see so much in power, be it at your workplace, somebody who's, or even in society you see in general. Because a saintly person is always choosing their centeredness, because they know that this whole world is a leela, it's a game, it's a play of the Lord between the light and the dark energies. And they do understand. Now being a saint does not mean that you will not fight. You see, many times in the history, like even you see some of the monks, Buddhist monks, they are all Shaolin masters. So they are incredibly strong. They are really strong people. And if time comes and when the need is like that, they are real spiritual warriors. But what they do not do is they just do not go about wreaking havoc in the society, right? So you do need the strength and energy, but that has its own place. And this is just precisely the way how the energies are being used. A devilish person, man or a woman, or even might be a younger person, doesn't matter. They are going to just use that energy in order to destabilize the environment. You see what I'm saying? Whereas a person of light is just trying to maintain the sattva quality. Sattva, that means qualities of peace and of ease in the society. They are not going to be attacking you with their loud voices, with their loud devices, with their loud stuffs, and above all, with poor words. You see, so people most of the time you see them, they just open their mouth to talk shit, and the whole reason is because they feel insecure. So they come together in a group, in a bunch, and then they talk on garbage and thinking that the spiritual warrior would get affected. But that's not the case because they do understand that they have poor conditioning. A spiritual warrior understands that the devil is coming from that dark space because that's how their upbringing is. That's their childhood. They have got lots of childhood traumas that's been just left unresolved. So, what do you do as a spiritual warrior? You do not react. Because you see, the true power is in the silence and also in the power of surrender. So, so there's this beautiful book, The Beginner's Mind, and it says that uh, in the, you just need to come and see from the state that you see there are all these seasons even in the nature, and so is in every person's life. So there is a time to fight, there's a time to kill, there's a time to be at ease, there's a time to create, there's a time to recede wherein you go back into the state of nothingness. There's a time to live and there's a time to die. So, of course, when you are in that moment and you are being tested and you are called up for action, that's not so much of an easy state. But if you just come out of your own way, that means your mind that is telling, oh, you should not do this because that's a major threat to your existence. Well, then you just do what's needed to be done. And at that point, you also let go of the fear of your own death. And having a real warrior is not scared to die, and that warrior is also not scared to kill. And this is very essential to understand because it's not about being violent, it's about just the right space and time. It's about the right action at the right time. Because if you're seeking for logic and the rules that's been created by others, there is no logic. All of the rules that has been created in society is created by the people who are more in power, and that is only to control the other masses. So if you see, if the laws and stuffs were so real, then we would be living in a utopian world, which is not the case. You see anywhere in the world. So there are all these laws and stuffs, but still, despite that, and that's what the Zen monks have said, because they created the laws. Now that created lots of criminals and culprits in the society. You see what I'm saying? And this is not even my own opinion, but of course I do see it. And because I've read these Zen monks' messages of Dzogchen, and another beautiful, incredible channel of Samariri Jayasara, which I will also leave her channel description in the link. So she has got a beautiful playlist of all of these monks throughout the world, Zen monks, Indian monks, and teachings of Christ, and all those beautiful beings. And she says that, so precisely in that, I watched about this book, Beginner's Mind. And in that book, it said very beautifully that there's a time and space for everything. And also know that, as Nisargadatta Maharaj says, that you are not the doer. So the action happens, and the action has already happened, and then after the action has happened, that's when you get to know, and your mind comes in and says that, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that better. But immediately, the action has already happened, and your mind is slower. Seconds later, you get to know that thing. And this whole process of your I, this I, what everybody of us on this planet are feeling, I am, right? So this I am is just a chemical reaction that comes into the mind. So then you might say, okay, if so is the case, then somebody who's a terrorist, they are just dropping bombs, so they should be forgiven. But you see, the person who is actually putting the bomb, that is not truly his choice, because see, while he was born and he had lived into such a situation where that led him into such and such action, so that is not truly his own will. See, this idea of will is an illusion. Free will is the greatest illusion, and we are all taught in society that you have this free will and you have this choice that you can decide and do whatever you want to do. But before your will comes in and before you say that this is what I want to do, there is no you who exists that says that I want to do this, right? So, for example, if you say that uh, I want to be a great athlete, so so you do not know why do you have this desire actually. Or somebody says I want to write a book, so they definitely do not know how did this desire come about. And this desire came about from the conditioning. Because see, somebody who's born in a jungle and who does not live in a conditioned society like how you and me are into this modern day and age, their way of living is entirely different. Their ways of thinking is absolutely different. So the way you think, the way you feel, the way you have got desires, your illusion of will, which is actually just an illusion. You do not have free will. As the Sagdatta Maharaj says in his book I'm That, action happens, and how the action actually happens is by the entire universe coming into play. So it's like you can experience your own existence as a wave in the entire ocean. So a wave just not does not just move on its own self. Before a wave actually moves to the shore, there is an there's a back end of all the you know replica of waves. So one wave pushes the other wave, then that wave pushes the next wave, then that wave pushes the next wave, and then it reaches the I, what you call as I am. So it reaches to that wave, and you think that okay, now it's my will that I'm going to hit the shore. But that is not the truth. Because you see, we are all interconnected. Every single thing is interconnected. You might not think and you might not be aware of how your action is actually affecting some other thing, some other cell, or some other snow mountain peak in Antarctica. But we are all interconnected. Humans, cells, every single atom, rocks, everything. And how we are all interconnected is through this I am. So if you go back to the source of who you think you actually are, you're not this body and you're not this mind. And I've been doing this analysis of myself for a really long time. Yeah, because I have a lot of time. And the only illusion is then the problem of this experiment is that as you go on deep diving within yourself that you're not this body, if you're alone and you do this experiment, you surely know you're not this body, because your same body was, you started from a cell, and then you were the embryo, and then you became a newborn. And you see how your eye sense had not developed. You take a look at a 3-month-old child or a 2 months old child. They are just like so soft, and they are so delicate, and their sense of eye has not yet developed. The sense of eye starts to develop from the age of 2 years old, and from then on, as you get more matured, as you start to age, your eye sense solidifies along with the conditioning of the society. But you do know exactly within yourself that you are not that. And the first time a child is born and it starts to develop this sense of I when the child is hungry and the child wants to go to the mother for milk and the mother is not around. So then now the child feels, oh, I'm hungry and I need food. So the child goes about uh, making a demand to meet the mother, so that the child can be fed. But then the mother also, she is the first person in the life of the child, in life of a child, which imparts this sense of I. So you are given a name, and this is what she says, now you are this name and you are this form. So sticking on to this form of I'm this body is purely for the existential thing, so that again this idea of will, because if you will, and you will think that, yeah, I'm this body surely enough, because if somebody calls my name, I attend to them. If somebody just nudges me or somebody just comes and uh, gives their advice, there's this awareness in me which acts through this body mind complex, right? So it acts through this five senses, and you might feel a sense of, oh, why did they say this to me? Or you might feel pleasant, oh wow, they are so much caring. Or you might think, oh wow, they like me, they really care for me. You know, it might be a feeling of feeling good, like a feeling of niceness, or it might be a repulsion. You might not like what the other person said. Now, what I'm trying to get at here is that this illusion of free will, every single person who is born in this world, now, in future, or before us, our previous ancestors and generations, they all have lived through the same life. And everyone's experience is unique. Everybody's experience has been like a fingerprint. So the fact that one man judges another man is through the life lens that he has born, because he has had a certain sort of life, whereas the other man has got his different life sense. So this is how it is, and it's strange because each one of us are judging each other through a pair of lens that has been given to us through their respective conditioning. You might be from one country and the other person might be from other country, and your two cultures are absolutely different. So then this sense of judgment and difference comes, that you are different than me, and well, you're so different than me, how come? And who's to say how come? Because every single thing is different. And also, a thing is as it is because the whole universe makes it as it is. So you may or may not like a person, but you do not have any choice of figuring out why a thing is as it is. You do not have any sort of uh, solid foundations on that. What a person runs on is on, in this case, assumptions. So people might assume something about you, that like they know you, but truly nobody knows nothing, because they themselves don't know why do they behave the way they do. And this is not about being confused, it's about just being plainly honest with the fact that nobody knows. And if somebody says they know, they are just plain liars, because truly nobody knows how things happen. And all this idea of predictability and making predictions and planning stuffs is just so that you are keeping yourself busy, because your mind is so crazy and you just want to keep yourself busy. Why do you think all these share markets and things are? Just to keep your mind busy into something that some people find exciting, some people don't. And I just gave an example of share market. It can be anything, any sort of industry, any sort of work that you do. But because you're alive and in this body, of course you've got to work. If you do not work, how else are you going to pay the bills? But again, my point of view in this video was, as Nisargadatta Maharaj says, every single person is facing this world through their own lens and through their own sense of conditioning. But nobody knew that you would be born to this parent, you would be born in this country, you would be born under this social circumstances, you would be born with stronger genes. Somebody would be born with weaker genes, you know. So actually, nobody knows, but there you are in this body form, having this solid experience of I am this and that. And this is so funny because you think you are so solid and your reality is so solid, though nothing is actually solid. It's all a malleable thing. It's all just waveforms. And about this illusion of free will, you cannot even take an extra breath. Like they say in all of the scriptures, they have said that the moment a child is born, its breaths are counted. So your life will run out at the end of your last exhale, and you are born with an in breath, and you die on an exhale. So this span is already determined, and at the end you do not have any of the capacity to even draw extra breath. That means to extend the life beyond the time what it is actually meant to live. And then even if you come to this point of having control, then it's actually not you who is beating your heart. The heart just beats itself. The breath just happens. Because if we were supposed to consciously order ourselves that you need to breathe in and out continuously and consciously, we would have been dead long back, because our mind is always busy with stuffs. Mind is always trying to avoid the unpleasant situation, and mind is always trying to run towards pleasure, right? That is how a human life is. We just want the good stuffs, and we try and avoid all of the bad stuffs. So the illusion of free will, because you see, even the choices that you make are all based on the conditioning. If there was a magic wand wherein your memory could be wiped out, and you are placed in an entirely new planet now, living with aliens and goblins, your life experience is going to be very different. And probably the way you perceive reality would be so much different. Living with this awareness makes you not be so much deluded when you're dealing with this illusion of the world as well. Because see, this is so much nice to know, because even though you're meditating and you come with this awareness of you're not this body and you're not the mind, but while you are dealing in and living in the world outside, there would be situations when you would be pushed to take in a form and shape. So though actually you're a nothing, just like everyone else. Everybody else is actually a nothing. And you see who you are. Where are you in your deep sleep? So you know yourself. In a day there is three spans of time, right? One is the waking state when you're waking up from sleep. Second is the sleep state when you go to your bed in the night. Third is the dream state while you're dreaming. And the fourth is the deep sleep wherein you do not even remember that you had a dream. So you go deep in the darkness, in the dungeons of who you are, and that pitch black dark, what we are so scared of, but what is actually death. So every night we die, and we are not scared of sleep. Everybody wants to sleep, and they're not scared that next day I might not wake up. Everybody wants to get a deep sleep. They take pills for that. No matter you're a king or you're a beggar, or you're a middle class man or a woman, everybody wants to get a deep sleep. And you're not scared that, oh, if I sleep and I'm just leaving my life experiences. Because life is about experience. It's like a movie that you're watching. So coming to the sleep state. So as from the waking state you go in the sleep state, you feel that you lose your sense of body. And in your dream, you have a different body. Or sometimes you just have an image of yourself in the dream. Have you just noticed yourself while you're dreaming, and how different is it? Like in your dream, you never see yourself so solid and so firm like how you are in this material world. right? You just have like a flimsy sense. It's just like like a shadow image. And even in your dream, you might see the people around um, and the environment in which you are in. That is not as real as it is right now. Like it's not that much colorful. You do this experiment tonight when you go to sleep. You try and figure out if you can actually remember the next day before you leave the bed. Because if you have left the bed, definitely you're not going to remember anything, any of your dream. And the maximum amount of time that you can actually remember your dream is while you are still in the bed. So just do this experiment and challenge your memory to see how far you can go. And you will see that your own body is actually not a fully formed body in your dream. You will see you watch yourself only till, first of all, you do not even watch yourself in your dream. If you analyze your dreams carefully, you are just going there as a knowing. It's just like you close your eyes and you close your mind and you close your ears and everything, and you just come to your heart center. It's like walking the road with eyes closed. So you're just going by the awareness. Your toes feels the ground, and your hands kind of feels so that you do not bump into anything. But clearly you are just walking from out of darkness. And in your dream, your state is very much like that. You do not have a body. You just go about seeing these people. Some you know, some you do not know. So those dream characters, who's making that? If you say you have free will, and if you say that, of course I have free will, then how's that your dreams are just coming without you being checked upon? That, okay, tonight I'm going to dream this. Do this test tonight. Think of a situation and you say that this is what going to dream tonight. Maybe I'm flying a parachute or something. And see if you can actually dream that dream. And where's the point wherein you are actually putting pressure on your mind, wherein you plan your dream, but actually you do not plan. Like every night, dream just happens. And in your dream, you see Draculas and dragons, and you are slaying them, and you are spitting fire. So it's all just weird dreams, which definitely you do not think about. But dreams are just so strange. They are coming out of where? Nobody knows. And in your dream state, your sense of I is still there. So you who you think you are is there, but actually you do not have this solid body and form. But you feel the characters in the play just like how you do in real life. You see, in your dream also you get angry, though you do not have a body. In your dream also, you you are fearful, as if there is a real character in there, and you are scared to run to save your life, as if there is a lion coming from the back, and you just run for your life. And then beyond that, the deep sleep state, turiya, wherein you do not even have dream, and you have gone so deep into the blackness. And then next day you wake up and say, "Wow, I had such a nice sleep. I'm feeling so relaxed." And most of the time, a man or a human whose mind is always racing, they do not get deep sleep. They might take pills to sleep well, but they do not get deep sleep. That's a different thing. That comes out of total relaxation of the body and mind. So that's what I wanted to just share my views entirely with this viewpoint that world will try to test you with all these things, and you would be forced to come out of your state of equanimity, as you're staying as a nothing. I'm nothing, shunya, you're zero, zero meditation, right? And they will come and try and test you, like, why are you being so peaceful? How can you be just so quiet? How can you be so peaceful in this chaotic world? But you should not react, because you can teach only somebody who's open enough and wise enough to learn from you. But you cannot force feed a horse to the river. You can take the horse to the river. You cannot force feed them. So just living with this awareness that you are actually a nothing, and so is somebody else also a nothing. And as you go and watch all of this as an observer, you find the game of life really funny, because it's you who has been put into this character, like in a video game, and you are supposed to play, and you interplay with all these characters in your life. Every single person new, or somebody you already know, are just characters in the play. And so are you into their life play. So you are just a mere character, just like how others are merely a character. And when you see this game through how it is, your illusion of the reality of how you perceive the world crumbles down, and you feel a lot of you can actually enjoy the life that way. And at that point, the rules also tend to disappear, because now you're coming from the state of watchfulness, and you witness how people act, why the way they act, and you know it's their conditioning, so you do not judge them. And because you do not judge them, they also drop their judgment. Because you see, this world is actually a mirror. If you are coming down to this character play, and you have taken this form as this avatar in this game of life, then how you are is how the other person will also react, and how they are is how you will react. So we are all actually mirrors of each other. But all of this is the sense of doing right and wrong, and doing this and that, comes to the play while you have taken to this solid form as, I am this name and I'm this form. So I'm this name XYZ and I'm this body. So you better watch out, like that. But if you go a step behind, who is actually this I to whom this name and form is given? From that space, you are nothing. You are just void. And so is the other person. And so is the entire world. So when you come with this awareness of just the five elements coming together, but then there's this whole animation, and we are all just animated earth. Animated earth. So that's all I wanted to share in this video, primarily the thoughts of Nisargadatta Maharaj on the illusion of free will. Because when you come to the I, there is no I. And you try and come to the center, and from that center emerges everything. Though all this is actually a lot of self diving, self deep diving, and it is so difficult because the mind just wants to. If there is no taste into it, mind just wants to run away, and mind just wants to say, "I'm done with this inquiry. I do not want to inquire anymore. This is so boring. Give me something fancy." But you realize that everything that is fancy on the external world is just a hollow, empty shell. You see, the moment you have a thing that you wanted, you have already lost its value. No matter, even if you want diamond and you get lots of diamonds, the moment you have it, it has lost its value. That's the nature of the mind. And then the mind then goes ahead and it runs and it chases something else. So the way the mind is designed, it never lets you rest with what you have. It just wants more, more, more. And there's no end to it. And on this journey of your finding object of desire, money, relation, houses, cars, property, money, crypto, whatever, that the world says are the goodies, and you till you have not found it, you think that, oh, it must be of worth. See, because if a world makes fun of me because I do not have such and such things of social value, so you think that you're in this illusion that maybe if I work hard and if I get this, then I would be at ease, and then I would be called something. But see, the world, you can never satisfy. World has never called nobody great, no matter how great you are. And for the ones who really were great, they crucified Jesus Christ. So whose validation are you really seeking? And just test your even desires, like before you get out on this mad chase. Is that even worth it? Because it's definitely not. And understand that you are in this illusion of working as per the demands of society, primarily are working out of fear. So that just makes you a slave, basically. Because society cannot stand somebody who's truly free, who's truly monstrously powerful. Society cannot stand that. Society wants to make you a slave. That's why they all hang out together. They do things what everybody else is doing because they are scared of a real true warrior. That is you. So that's about it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.